Mr. Carl, me a little blessed to see another day. A little tea time right now. Y'all excuse me, I'm sipping on my diabetic tea right here. Brown sugar water. I got another idea to debunk on this remarriage pandemic. Matthew 19:9. Y'all gonna hate me for saying it, but I'm gonna say it because it's God's truth, and I am a flashlight just shining a light on God's truth. It is not an exception. It isn't what you think. It's not an exception of when you can divorce. It's an exclusion of when you can remarry and it not be adultery. The King James Version uses the word fornication. It's the only reason you can divorce, remarry, and it not be adultery, according to Matthew 19:9, right? So let's first look at this. What is fornication? Sex before marriage. Because any act of sex by a person already married with the person that's not their spouse would not be fornication. It would be adultery. King James says fornication. This is important because listen, the men back in those days knew that if they could lie and say that their wife wasn't a virgin, which in the Bible that's a maid. A maid is an unmarried virgin. They had legal grounds to divorce and remarry. Okay, well, let's go look at the 5th book of Moses, Deuteronomy 22:13-20. If any man take a wife and go into her and hate her and give occasions of speech, he lied against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman and when I came to her, I found out her not a maid, found out she wasn't a virgin. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. So they brought the proof that she was a virgin. And the damsel's father should say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man, to his wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him. And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he has brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. So you see, the context of Matthew 9 was in reference to the traditions back then when for women and men to wait to marriage to have sex. And a man could divorce his wife and remarry if he discovered his maid was not a virgin because she fornicated and he didn't know till after the marriage. Guess what? That don't even apply to us today. Most of us are just two fornicators coming together in a marriage. Listen, y'all stop playing into twisted scripture to fit your lust of your flesh, looking for any way to move on and do everything you should have done in the first marriage in a second or third marriage. Don't want to work on the first marriage, you'd rather move on and try another, just quitting and moving on. But let me ask you something. Is that God's will? No. How do I know? Because Jesus stood on business in Matthew 19:4-6 when he said, in the beginning, two became one. And he said that man cannot put asunder the covenant of marriage. King James uses fornication. You married a virgin, someone you thought was a virgin, and you found out she wasn't a virgin. Now, how many of y'all are marrying somebody who you thought was a virgin and found out they weren't? Stop playing with God.